Then week 4, Jackson was intercepted in the end zone on a 4th and goal late in a tie game against Buffalo. It was his first career 4th down interception, his first thrown under pressure this season. Then last week against the Giants was really the toughest moment. Lamar Jackson turning the ball over twice in the final 3.5 minutes. An interception led to the go-ahead score and a sack fumble on Baltimore's last drive. So they play a very interesting game this week. In a division, no one is running away. The Ravens at 3-3 are actually in first place in that AFC North with Cincinnati, and we'll see what happens. God bless you there, RC. Let's talk about these Ravens and specifically Lamar Jackson. First 3 quarters, tremendous. 4th quarter, not as much. What do you need to see from him Sunday against the Browns?
Well, I think the big thing is you need to see Lamar Jackson finish. You need to see Lamar take control of this team in the most important moments of the game. And let's go back to the Miami game. There's a 3rd and 3 where they have the ball in Miami territory. Lamar Jackson gets 2 carries in a row. They don't get the first down. That turns into a touchdown. Late in the game against the Buffalo Bills, you have a red zone opportunity. You decide to go for it on 4th down instead of kick. Lamar Jackson throws an interception into the corner. And now against the New York Giants, you have an interception and a sack fumble that turns into a recovery for them that seals off the game. When you think about these games, you don't necessarily only remember what the defense did. You remember what Lamar Jackson didn't do. And it's not necessarily just about who he is through 3 quarters. It's about who he needs to be as a complete quarterback throughout the game. When we look at Patrick Mahomes, look at Josh Allen, and some of these big-time quarterbacks, we think about what they do in the most critical moments of games. It started out as postseason. Now it's about just finishing games in the regular season. Lamar Jackson needs to be better, and the Baltimore Ravens need to help him.
How about it? I mean, because there's all the other stuff that hovers around with him. Obviously, we know with the offseason and the contract and everything else.
Well, I think he will figure it out. I mean, going back to last year, and Hembo gave me this stat. Last year, before Lamar Jackson got hurt, he won 7 games. 4 of them required 4th quarter comebacks. And so clutch has never been an issue for Lamar Jackson. There were some questionable decisions. You could talk about maybe some of the interceptions, maybe that questionable call by his coach to go for it on 4th down when you could have taken the points. But I don't think there's going to be an issue with Lamar Jackson. These are little things you can get figured out in practice. They have a veteran team around him. And so I think that the Ravens and Lamar Jackson will get their 4th quarter issues figured out because you can focus on and dial in on those little things, those little execution issues that you can work on in practice.
What do you think, Nate?
Well, he's had 5 turnovers in the 4th quarter alone. So that's something that he needs to take care of the football. And if you touch that football, if you're a quarterback, running back, anyone who handles the ball, the fate of the football team relies in you taking care of the football. So moving forward, I'm not concerned about the Ravens. I think that they'll be okay. But what they have to do is figure out, what are the things that we are doing in the first through 3rd quarter that we can't do in the 4th quarter? Is it the other teams adjusting, or are we just not capitalizing on these opportunities? Because if you're turning the ball over in the 4th quarter, that's losing football. And for them to go where they want to go, and that's into the playoffs, to a Super Bowl, you can't turn the ball over.
As I turn to Brooke, let me put the picks on the screen because this is it's an important game. The Browns may be playing for their season. Every single game this week, everybody is riding in one direction. Everyone here is riding Baltimore this week. And Brooke, the Steelers, the team you cover, could actually wake up Monday morning tied for first place in the division. We'll deal with that. How about Lamar Jackson and the contract and everything else spiraling around it?
I mean, look, I get the sense that Lamar Jackson's contract is not going to be affected by these things that are happening in the 4th quarter because he's going to get it fixed. It's still more about the bottom line, the postseason, how far he can take them. But did you know that it was actually this week, 3 years ago, that Jim Harbaugh said, Lamar, do you want to go for it on 4th down when he was asking him?
Yeah.
To me, they need to get back to that. But the difference in that 2019 season when he had an MVP year, he had better support around him. He had a stronger run game, stronger defense. This team needs to support Lamar so that he can go out there and do what he does best.
Real quick.
Well, just to that point, I mean, he's the team's leading rusher by a lot. And so that you talk about supporting Cass, he does need some help.
Yeah, what I would say is Lamar Jackson has more than twice as many rushing yards as any other player on his own team. He needs a little bit